Interesting story before I start. I asked my family not to cry when coming here. Dean Wingard almost made me cry just now announcing me. Thank you for your introduction, and thank you, Senior Vice Dean O'Halloran, distinguished guests, and the School of Professional Studies for the honor of delivering the student address on behalf of the graduating class of 2016. I'd like to also thank my program director, Steve Cohen, Assistant Director, Allison Ledoux, and the Earth Institute for your continuous support along my journey. Graduating class, I'd like you to take a second and think about what it took for us to be here today. Can you remember how you felt and where you were when you received your admissions notice from Columbia University? Were you excited, nervous, or even anxious? I remember how I felt. I was working on a gas conversion project at Con Edison, not knowing what to expect and full of emotions, understanding that opening this email could change my life. I could trace the start of my journey today, back to 2012, when I was rushed to the hospital for emergency life-saving surgery and placed on life support with less than a 20% chance to live. I could have easily given up hope, becoming a victim of circumstance, facing multiple additional surgeries and a long road ahead. But instead, by the grace of God, the loving support of my family, and a little bit of luck, I was able to stay positive, persevere, and fight along. During my year-long recovery, I developed a unique bond with an unlikely source. My surgeon, Dr. Sanjeev Kaur, who's with us here today via live stream. Oh, thank you. During my recovery, he challenged me to find my purpose in life. I reflected on my strengths and looked to build on them with something that was unique, something different, something meaningful that would have a positive impact on the world for many generations to come. I began researching academic programs, and when I found the Master of Science in Sustainability Management program degree, I knew I had my chance to make a difference. I'm sharing this with you today to inform you that no matter what circumstances or challenges we may be faced with, whether we feel scared, hopeless, or discouraged, as I felt in the hospital, we have the ability to fight through these conditions and battle ahead and move on, becoming better versions of ourselves. And that's what I did as soon as I accepted my invitation to study at Columbia University. But getting in, as we know, is only half the battle. As classmates, we shared our successes, failures, and values in a community dedicated to making lasting advances in our respective fields of studies. And doing so in a supportive environment, knowing that if we work together, we could achieve more. Having said that, I do admit to occasionally wondering what was worse, being on life support or some of our group projects. But somehow, we all survived. At Columbia, thank you. At Columbia, we survived using the innovative tools and resources provided by the School of Professional Studies and by drawing on the professional experience of our fellow classmates to develop solutions in order to meet the needs of evolving global market strategies. And as students, we've been influenced by some of the most prestigious leaders in the world. We've also had the ability to influence each other. I remember vividly one of my classmates inviting us to his kickoff party right before class started. Little did we know that this party was to introduce his campaign for a seat in the United States Congress. That's when I realized this is where I belong, in an environment full of surrounding students wanting to make a difference. And through my personal development and aspirations, I stand here no longer just a student, but as a representative of the Columbia community with the ability to influence others and transfer the knowledge I have learned. I also had the privilege, as Dean Wingard mentioned, to serve as the president of the Sustainability Management Student Association. Those flags just went down. Maybe we should look at the environment longer. As he mentioned, we organized events and conferences engaging industry leaders to demonstrate how sustainability has an impact on all of our programs. People often ask me how I managed to have time for this program while juggling a full-time job, family, and friends, and whether or not it's all worth it. I usually answer this question in one of two different ways, depending on if it's the beginning of the semester, when everything is awesome, and I'm going to save the world after graduation, or during midterms and finals when I think I need the world to save me. All kidding aside, for many of us here today, the truth is that we chose to devote our lives to a purpose that is bigger than ourselves, pursuing a better world today for our future, and doing so by applying our knowledge, spirit of innovation, and influence in all of our future endeavors. We all made sacrifices to achieve our graduate degrees. Some of us traveled across the country, and many of us traveled across the world. And while I'm from New York, is anybody else here from New York? And while I'm from New York, each of us took time away from the things we love the most, our family, our friends, and our careers, in exchange for studying at one of the greatest institutions in the world, and arguably the greatest city in the world. In graduating class, if you're as lucky as I am, along the way you've developed a great network, several mentors, and some of the closest friends you never expected to have met at this point in your life. Before I conclude my remarks, as we have a reception to attend, I would like to thank everyone who participated in the 2016 class gift campaign. Started in 2011 by students, this proud tradition helps fund our innovation scholarships. And on behalf of the graduating class, I'd like to sincerely thank all of our family members and friends for your continual support along our personal journey. Without you all, none of this would be possible. Thank you. Thank you, Shaun.